I'm joined by Mark Geragos, legendary trial attorney and host of the podcast Two Angry Men and Reasonable Doubt, and John Nazarian, a private investigator and security advisor for Britney back in 2006 and 2007. It's great to have you both here. Mark, I want to start with you for the legal aspects about this. What is your biggest concern for Britney legally, whether it's jail, whether it's rehab? And one thing I want to highlight as well is TMZ is reporting that Britney is telling people her blood alcohol level was 0.06. Our understanding is California's legal limit is 0.08. But even if that's true, if they suspect a combination of drugs and alcohol, she could still be facing some serious charges here, right?
Well, if what is being reported is true, I'll speculate wildly as to what's happening. She would not have the blood test result back yet. So if she thinks or she's telling somebody it's a 0.06, it's probably a preliminary alcohol screening device, which is one of the devices that they do in the field, which is something that they saw. If the officer saw it was a 0.06, less than 0.08, he then said, I'm going to take you. I now suspect you're also under the combination of drugs. That's why I'm now going to give you a blood test. And if the blood test comes back at under a 0.08 and no drugs in her system or no drugs over the detectable amount that could be arguably affecting her over the influence, they don't have a case because arguably she's under a 0.08. If she comes back positive for some drug that she shouldn't have in her system that can affect her, then they do have something.
Well, here's John, just stand by for 1 second. I just want to follow up on something here, Mark. Didn't her team admit that she was in the wrong? I mean, she's innocent until proven guilty, but making a statement, this was an unfortunate incident, it's completely inexcusable, she's going to take the right steps, she's going to comply with the law. Isn't that an admission of guilt?
You know, I have a speculation. Once again, John has at least been in her world a lot more than I ever have. But having been there, many times the 5 and 10% nickel and dime crowd, which is the agents or those around the management, tends to get out in front of this. I guarantee you that most criminal lawyers would never, if they know what they're doing, issue that statement until they see the blood alcohol blood test.
No, definitely not. All right, John, okay, talk to me about this. You see this news today. As someone who worked closely with Britney and then watched her conservatorship end, is this something you saw coming if these allegations are true?
You know, look, she's an entertainer, and she's a great entertainer. And just as it was during her conservatorship, she's being poorly represented again. If she didn't, I mean, these people are making statements like this when it's totally outrageous. I agree with Mr. Geragos that I've done criminal defense for years. It's outrageous that they would make a statement like this about their own client. It's just outrageous. Once again, what we're watching is just bad representation.
But taking the allegations for a moment, let's say, assuming this is true, that she was driving under the influence, is this consistent with behavior you saw? You couple it with what we've seen the last few years, the Instagram videos. You know, people will look at the story and say, my gosh, she shouldn't have been out of that conservatorship. She needs a new one. Your response?
I just think that she's an entertainer. I work for many entertainers, some very big names. Entertainers, by the mere nature of what they do for work, make them a little bit unusual from the rest of us. As far as I'm concerned, she's always been a pleasure to work with. I enjoyed her, and I just think, again, she's made an error, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
And so, John, you don't believe that she's in a position, as far as you can tell, where she can't be in control of her own life, her own finances, her own health?
Oh, come on. You're talking about Hollywood. Compared to what she just did, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what some of these people are capable of.
It's fair. But let me ask you this, Mark. Legally speaking, and correct me if I'm wrong, in California, it's pretty broad in who can petition a court to activate a conservatorship against somebody. It could be a friend, family member. Doesn't mean it would be successful. Is that something we should be on the lookout for after this, particularly given these comments?
I don't think so. You know, there's the irony of this is if the 0.06 is correct, And depending on whether she's on a downward metabolizing or whether she's on the increase, she's just as close at a 0.06 to the presumption of not being under the influence, which is a 0.04, as she is to being under the influence, which is a 0.08. So no, I mean, we've had U.S. presidents within the last 20 years who've been convicted of drunk driving. We've had vice presidents who've been convicted multiple times of drunk driving. So if you could be the commander in chief, I think you can get up on stage, to John's point, and entertain tens of thousands of people if you get popped for an 06.
John, you mentioned people around her. Britney's rep also said in this statement, quote, her boys are going to spend time with her. Her loved ones are going to come up with an overdue needed plan to set her up for success, for well-being. Is the family going to come to her support and step in? What should we be thinking about there?
She has always loved her children, and her children have always loved her, even though the separation and so forth. You know, come on. They're making this thing like, I mean, they're making it sound like she just ran over a family of 6 while they were shopping. All she was doing, if in fact, okay, she was under the influence of something. All right, fine.
Well, that's serious. I mean, being under the influence and operating a vehicle is a serious allegation.
Yeah, but, you know, give me a break. I was a cop. I arrested hundreds of people for drunk driving back in the day. And it is serious, and it is something that we got to be concerned with. But in this case, you know, talking about, oh, she's out of control. I mean, what made it even worse, quite frankly, was her management people. I am shocked that these morons would make such a comment.
Mark, let me just give you the final word. She sold her music catalog reportedly for $200 million. Does that play into this at all?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, the fact is it's a very kind of a clinical analysis. Based on what's been reported, nobody got injured. The kids weren't in the car, so there's no child endangerment. There's no indication right now, at least in the reporting, that she was over a 0.08. There's no indication, at least right now, that there's the presence of any other drug that would affect her sobriety. As of right now, she's presumed not guilty, and I join with John. These statements that are being made are inexplicable to me. I don't get them.
I mean, I'm an attorney too. It wasn't made by her attorney. It wasn't made by her. Maybe there's a way that she'll distance herself from it. We'll see. This is the beginning stages of it. Mark Geragos, John Nazarian, thank you both so much. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.